Welcome to Key Tech. Please describe this channel if you are interested in today's video. Western developed countries headed by the United States have formed a decades-long technological monopoly in the chip industry, thus earning a lot of money. Therefore, the United States will never allow companies from other countries to pose any threat to U.S. companies. Especially for China's rapidly rising high-end industries, the United States has resorted to all means to suppress and restrict them. From the Wassenaar Agreement to the Chip and Science Act, and then to the Quadruple Alliance on Chips, it can be said that from high-end chips to lithography machines, and then to chip design software, it can be said to be an all-round containment without dead ends. The purpose is to limit China's development in high-end industries. Among China's high-end industries, Huawei can be said to be the most representative company. Because a private enterprise has managed to make the most powerful United States in the world afraid. The United States may have attracted widespread attention to the news of Huawei's revised rules. Some U.S. media reported that the United States plans to cut off all ties between U.S. companies and Huawei, and will not allow the supply of all products, including 4G, Wi-Fi 6, artificial intelligence, and high-performance computing. The measure, which could be passed in May, is still in the early stages of discussion, according to people familiar with the matter. Leaving aside whether the United States will make a mistake in the end, Qualcomm has officially stated its position on this matter, saying that it will not be affected. Since 2019, Huawei has received the attention of the United States. At that time, Huawei lost Google's GMS service supply. Without Google's GMS service, many ecological applications of Huawei's overseas mobile phones cannot be used, affecting overseas mobile phone shipments. And starting from the Android 12 system, Huawei's name is no longer included in Google's updated list of mobile phone manufacturers. However, through self-developed HMS service and Hongmeng OS system, Huawei solved the impact of Google's actions and continued to maintain its mobile phone business. Since then, the United States has started from the level of chips and 5G networks. Self-developed chips cannot enter the production line, and mobile phones cannot use 5G networks. After Huawei's unremitting efforts, the smartphone business finally persisted. Take the Mate 50 series as an example. This mobile phone is equipped with a large number of Huawei's self-developed technologies. Although it is a 4G mobile phone, the communication is not inferior to 5G, and it also supports satellite communication. As for the issue of SoC chips, Huawei is looking for Qualcomm to purchase chips within the scope permitted by conditions. Because the smartphones released by Huawei in recent years are all equipped with Snapdragon processors. No matter what chip, the most important thing is to keep the business going. Yu Chengdong, executive director of Huawei, said that no matter how difficult it is, he will continue to develop the smartphone business. But Huawei still has a lot to do. The market is unpredictable, and no one can predict what will happen in the future. What's more, the United States has not dispelled its concern about Huawei, and there is news that the United States may cut off all ties between Huawei and American companies. I believe everyone has heard the news, and the other party tried to revise the rules again, including 4G, Wi-Fi 6, etc. in the scope of the rules. If the rules are implemented, not only Huawei, but many US companies will also be involved. So far, there are still some U.S. companies that have obtained supply licenses, worth tens of billions of dollars. For example, Qualcomm supplies Huawei with 4G chips and earns a lot of sales every year. These orders are very important to U.S. companies whose revenues are declining, and orders from major customers are definitely not willing to give up easily. In response to this issue, Qualcomm officially stated that it has responded to possible rule changes in the United States and is not expected to be affected. Specifically, according to Alex Rogers, president of Qualcomm Technology Licensing and Global Affairs, the current licenses for 4G, Wi-Fi and other chips exported to Huawei will not be affected by reports of the suspension of export licenses to Huawei. Qualcomm has made a positive statement. From the perspective of the market, it hopes to maintain cooperation with Huawei customers to maintain business. Everything is in the early stages, and until the dust has settled, no conclusions can be drawn in a definite tone. The rules that the United States is trying to revise involve a wide range of issues, and it will even make the situation of American companies that have experienced thunderstorms worse and worse. Including Qualcomm, all major U.S. companies have handed over poor financial reports. Both revenue and profits have plummeted, making life difficult. Therefore, American companies are very interested in keeping any order, especially a big customer like Huawei. Otherwise, the company's revenue is sluggish, and it can only drink from the northwest wind. A large number of U.S. companies have launched layoffs, which has fully demonstrated the problem. During 2022, it can be said to be the darkest moment for employees of Silicon Valley companies in the United States, and they may receive layoff emails from the company at any time. In the second half of last year alone, 120,000 Silicon Valley employees were laid off, setting a record for the scale of layoffs in the United States. However, more American companies have joined the layoffs, such as Amazon laying off 18,000 employees and Microsoft laying off 10,000 employees. In January 2023, the number of layoffs has reached more than 90,000, and high-paying jobs in U.S. companies have become a thing of the past. Qualcomm has not yet announced a layoff plan, but due to the sluggish performance and revenue, it is likely that it will also lay off employees like other U.S. companies. It is estimated that Qualcomm also anticipated this. If it does not want its performance to continue to decline, it can only fight for customer orders. According to Qualcomm's current statement, it is possible to continue to cooperate. From a free trade standpoint, this is actually a good thing. But the facts have also proved that the market is unpredictable. In order to avoid the continuous occurrence of such incidents, it is also necessary to master self-developed technology. Starting from the level of self-developed technology, solve your own needs. It's like Huawei's self-developed Hongmeng operating system. It is believed that Huawei will continue to develop self-developed technologies and invest high R&D expenses every year, which will surely reap corresponding returns.